So here is where the back panel goes, and the back panel has the 6-pin connector and the display module and 2 switches, so one switch for start, stop, and one for controlling the frame rate and other display functions. So, and this has the light shield, and the final, my own panel doesn't have this connector connected yet because I was so busy that I didn't have time to edit. I needed to get the software testing. This is the final panel, and it has black silicone on the connector because these connections, let's see, sometimes there is possibility to get some light through the area near the pins. So this is for shielding against light and for insulation and to keep the wires in place so that they don't get stressed and break at some point. So we have this is display cable, which goes to the 5-pin connector like I showed you, and this is, so we have 2 of these slots. You can use either one for getting this cable from the film chamber side, the movement side, to the electronic side. So either one is okay. You can check which one works better. But this cable goes through that, and these are of course held always on the electronic side, and this is also held on the electronic side, so it's bent like this. I will just mount this panel there. So this goes through either one of the slots, and when installation is done you can actually block the other slot to reduce chance of light leaks, but it's not necessary at the moment. So when finished with the installation and tested and everything is okay, then you can block some unnecessary holes here if needed. But I will actually install this one panel there just to show you. And it is made like this, so you will feed these all cables through that, and then putting this, I can't see anything. I need like 10 more of these table lamps. So the cable can go through either the center hole or the upper one. So it's easier to go if it goes to the upper one. So let's see how it goes again. So this might be pretty tricky sometimes. Let's see. So yeah, I will cutting the recording because this, I just need that as 2 screws and then it's okay. It's not the easiest thing to do. 1 screw. If you wonder why I'm not so happy making crystal controllers for CP16, is because this is super tricky. This is so difficult camera to design stuff for. The back panels are easy to design, but everything else is pretty nightmarish. So I didn't originally want to make another CP16 controller. So I have the back panel here now, and I will of course remove the fingerprints and everything because this is actually going to one of the customers. Oh, that's actually silicone, so I'm not responsible of any scratches or fingerprints or silicone stains anyway. Yeah, so you can see this is not perfectly on level. It's bent like that, and that is normal. So it has this kind of rubber foam light seal. It needs to be pretty stiff but elastic, and it takes some time to settle. So at this point, when mounting this new panel for the first time, just mount the screws, don't over tighten them a little bit, then leave it as is and tighten it tomorrow, and then checking again a day after that or a couple of days after that. So it will take time to settle, and after a week or so it's really good. So you can see this is more compressed than the center part, so it's like this, and that's normal, and it takes time to settle. So don't over tighten this fully now when first time installing this. Just mount them and put some tension on them, and then wait. You can see I can bend this backward when pushing it. So let's mount it there and leave it there, and you can leave it for a week and then come back tightening the screws and then testing again. So we have now we're getting to the cable business. So we have the 5-pin connector, and I tested it and it was not good routing it down here. So you will route it. I don't want this grounding wire is stupid. Sorry, grounding wire, but it's really stupid. So this I need. Where are my 3 extra hands? So you can. There is one of those kind of hooks which were used for the original cables, so you can use this for the new one. So the encoder sensor, the 3-pin wire goes there, and then this 5-pin wire. But I need 2 hands again, so it's routed underneath this. This is mounted here, where it's mounted there. Yeah. This was for the original. Somehow this grounding wire is mounted underneath that screw. So this wire and the sensor wire go here underneath this and through the hook. You can bend this hook open if needed and align it if needed, and then you can route them up here, or you can route them here, always under the belt all the time, and then through this hook, which can be again adjusted as needed, and then the sensor connector goes here, and then the 5-pin connector goes here. So I will install those and then show it how it looks like. So we have the wires mounted here, and one important thing is it's a bit tricky with these hooks, so it might be easier to get this clear the flywheel if they go over this assembly here. I mounted this like this with my own camera, but you need some zip tie or something here to keep this together so that this encoder wire doesn't hit the belt. So this 5-pin goes over this connector, then it's easier to manage the cables, and you can get much more free cable here. So this wire goes from this connector over this 5-pin receptacle on the circuit board, and then this 5-pin goes over that cable and here. That's how I think it's easy to manage them. And then it goes here, and there is some extra cable, so you will collect the extra cables here on the bottom where there's no rotating parts. So you can need to clear this, but you can collect the extra cabling here, and there is where this screw mounts the post. You can use zip tie around that post to collect extra cables there when finished everything else. But I have this encoder connected now, and the display, and then we have this 3-pin cable coming from the display. No, it's coming from the 6-pin. It's coming from the 6-pin. So where do we have it? It's somewhere underneath there. That's one. So it comes from this main cable. So we have this 3-pin DuPont connector, and need more hands again. They are connected so that this, not by the arrows, but the similar looking side is on the same side. So this metal taps on the same side. Now it's connected correctly. And there's lots of extra wire which is collected here. So you will need to, you can see the flywheel and main gear surface there which is rotating. You need to clear that, and need to clear that, and the belt, and this, and of course this, but it's difficult to get cables to there. It's easy to get cables to here, and on the belt, and this. So collect the extra cables to this area. I like to put a large zip tie around this post and then collect all the stuff here. And there was some kind of support part here which I don't remember what it was, but you can use those holes to put some kind of cable collecting system. So the original motor had some wires. There they are. So here it's the black wire and the red wire. So normally when connecting stuff, it's usually the black wire would be negative. But on my cameras, the black wire was actually positive, so these are running in reverse. Let's see. Yeah, they are running in reverse. No, it's running straight. No, so, well, anyway. So you need to test the polarity beforehand, and then this is my test camera cable, but the final cables have the black wire and the red wire, and you can see the polarity here, and black wire is negative and red is positive. So this goes to there, and does it go underneath, or you may need to manage these cables a little, so I need both hands again. So this connecting the motor, and these connectors don't have locking, but specific looking, but they keep in place pretty well. And then we have similar wire with similar kind of connector coming from the back panel, and that is the external power. So this power coming from here. So we will route that to either A or B input. Either one of these is okay. So for example, A input. And there is some extra cable which you need to collect somewhere, but there should be enough, plenty of space to collect the cables. Bottom of the camera. So the power input for the back panel goes here, and please don't connect it here, never, but it might short circuit something. Obviously the motor wouldn't work, but I'm not sure. It might be, yeah, it should short circuit it actually. Yeah, don't connect it there. And there's the B input cable, which is meant for routing the internal battery, the onboard battery power, to the main board. So you can use the other input for that, but there is one cable which is meant for the motor and which has reversed polarity market. So don't use the motor cable for this. Check out which one is which. So I will mark them well before shipping and just use the correct cable for this. But yeah, this should actually run already. So I have my all kinds of extra cables here, but this should run already. So could I actually? I thought if I could tie this together already here, but I don't think I will do that. It might make it more difficult to install. So this should run. So I will check this first and then show you after that. And I might need to adjust this belt might slip. It's not very well attached, but I will see. So testing first and then showing what is going on.